Do you know the fill in the blanks matters a lot to your DET score? You know the Duolingo English Test is an adaptive system, and the fill in the blanks appears at the early stage of the test. So your performance in this section determines whether your score will go to a higher level or a lower level. But this part is actually very challenging because you only have 20 seconds to read the sentence and fill the answer. So in this video, I'm going to show you the strategy to help you improve your performance in this part. Let's get started. Okay, let's use the fill in the blanks trainer on my website to practice and learn the strategy. First, let's start from list level, 95 to 110. Okay, when we learn the strategy, we can just pause the timer. And let's do 10 questions, and then you can track how many you can answer correctly. Okay, so let's see the first question. She opened the what to let some fresh air into the stuffy room. So the main strategy is that we don't need to just translate each word, but we need to find the context of the sentence quickly. For example, this one, she opened something to let some fresh air into the room, right? So we know she opened something and let the air into room. So from the first two letters, we can know it's something. So I'd like to give you 3 seconds to think about the answer. So the answer is window. Okay, let's check the answer. So here we can see some prompt, the strategy. So why it's this word? The stuffy room and it needed some fresh air, so it's about the window. And also, we should also notice the grammar. It's noun, it's a noun, and it's singular. Okay, so next one. The streets were something because of the heavy snow that had fallen overnight. So this sentence is about street. The street were something. So can you think about it's a noun or adjective or verb? So we can know it's a word describe the streets, right? So it must be a adjective. So because of the heavy snow, now you have 3 seconds to think about the answer. Okay, so the answer is empty. Okay, let's check. So heavy snow, from heavy snow, we can know people stayed at home. So the streets, when all people stayed at home, so the streets were empty. Okay, so this is the logic. Okay, next one. We had to what? Because the library had a strict no noise rule. So no noise, it means we should not make noise, right? So we had to what? Is this a noun, verb, or adjective? Now you can have 3 seconds to think about it. Okay, the answer is whisper. So let's check. Okay, so why? Because it's about library and a no noise rule. So people need to speak very quietly. So from the first 3 letters, we know it's whisper. It's a verb because it's after to, right? Had to do something. So whisper is correct. Okay, so next one. The soup was too hot to eat, so she waited for it to cool down. So it's about the soup. She cannot eat. She waits for it to cool down. So have you found the context? Now you have 3 seconds to think about the answer. Okay, so the answer is too hot. Let's check. She had to wait to cool down, so it means the soup was too hot to eat. Okay, it's adjective. Okay, next one. She wore something around her neck to keep warm in the cold wind. So the context tells us it's something can wear around her neck, right? So what's that? What can be worn around the neck? Now you have 3 seconds to think about it. Okay, the answer is scarf. Let's check. Okay, so it's cold wind, right? Neck protection for warmth. So what can protect the neck? It's a scarf. It's a noun. And because this is a, so it's singular. Singular form, scarf. That's it. Okay, next one. He felt very what when his son won first place in the competition. So his son won first place. So what's the feeling of him? He felt very what? Now you have 3 seconds to think about it. The answer is he felt very proud. Okay, so why? His son won first place, right? So it's a positive emotion. So he felt proud about his son's winning, right? And it's felt, he felt, so it's adjective. It's proud. Okay, next one. The old bridge was too what? For 2 cars to pass at the same time. When we see two, it means something can't do, right? So it means 2 cars can't pass at the same time. So it means the bridge was too what? It's a noun, verb, or adjective. Now you can have 3 seconds to think about the answer. Okay, it's narrow, right? Because it's narrow. Okay, 2 cars couldn't pass, so it means it's not wide enough. So based on the first 2 letters, we know the answer is narrow. It's all about understand the context. Okay, next question. The baby started to what as soon as the lights went out? So from started to, we know it's a verb, to do something, right? So as soon as the lights went out, what the baby is gonna do? Now you have 3 seconds to think about it. Okay, so based on the first letter C, we know the baby cry, right? Cry. Okay, so lights went out. It means scared or startled. So the baby cry. It's a verb based on to, right? It started to do something. Okay, next one. She packed her what the night before her early morning flight. She packed her what? She will have an early morning flight. So she need to pack something, right? It's a noun. So think about it. What's that? And think about the form. It's singular or plural. Okay, think about for 3 seconds. Okay, I think the answer is bags. It's a bag, but it's not only one, so it's bags. Let's check. Okay, preparing for flight and packing luggage. So it's because we only have 4 letters, so it's bags, and it's a noun and a plural. Okay. Okay, so that's the question. The ice cream started to what quickly in the hot afternoon sun? It's about ice cream. And started to do is a verb. And in the hot sun, what's going to happen to the ice cream? Now you have 3 seconds to think about it. Okay, the answer is melt. Let's check. Because it's a hot sun, and so the ice cream is a solid, become liquid, right? So the verb is melt, and started to do something. So it's melt. The form is melt. Okay. So let's see the result. We finished the 10 question. So if you have tracked your answers, so you can know how many questions you answered correctly. If you can answer correctly over at least 8 questions, it means your foundation for the Duolingo English test can be between 100, around 100, right, to 110. If you can't answer more than 7 questions correctly, it means your foundation cannot reach the 100 or 110 level. You still need to improve your English foundation. Okay, let's practice more higher level for another 10 questions. I won't explain more. We just use the strategy and try to do the question, okay? After reviewing all the evidence, the committee what the proposal too risky to approve. So this is over 120 level, so it's more difficult, right? So after doing something, the committee, it's a noun verb. It's after the committee, so it's a verb, right? So when it's a verb, we need to think about the grammar forms. It's the tense, right? The past tense or what tense? So it's happened. It had happened, right? So it's a past tense. So think about the answer for 3 seconds. Okay, the answer is deemed. Okay, let's check. Okay, after careful review, it means it's officially judged. So we use deemed for a formal situation, official judgment, okay, deemed. And it's past after reviewing something. So this thing has happened, so it's a past tense. That's why it's deemed. Okay, have you answered correctly? Okay, next one. The mountain pass became dangerously what as they climbed higher, forcing them to use ropes. Became what? Why they have to use ropes? Became something. It's adjective, right? So it's about the mountain. Okay, you can think about the answer for 3 seconds. Okay, the correct answer is, I think it's steep, right? It's about the angle of the mountain. Okay, so needed the ropes to climb. So it's a very sharp angle upward. So it's steep. Adjective after became. Okay, next one. The village had been what for decades? with vines slowly covering every wall. So vines cover the wall. It means the village had been. So we know had been what? It's a verb, right? And it's a passive voice. Okay, think about the answer for 3 seconds. Okay, the answer is abandoned. Okay, check the answer. Okay, so why this word? Vines covering, no people for decades, left empty, right? So left empty, and based on the first 3 letters, we know it's abandoned. Okay, have you answered correctly? It is what that the meeting will be postponed due to the heavy snowfall expected tomorrow. It is what that the meeting will be postponed. Okay, now you have 3 seconds to think about the answer. Okay, the correct answer is likely, right? It's likely. So heavy snow expected, high chance of change, so likely. It is likely that. Okay, it's also a collocation, right? It is likely that something. Okay, next one. She had to what? To read the tiny text at the bottom of the contract. So she had to do something, right? To read the tiny text at the bottom of the contract. It's a verb, right? Had to do something. Okay, you have 3 seconds to think about the answer. Okay, this answer is not easy. I think it's squint, right? Let's check. Okay, why? Because the text is tiny, so it's very hard to see. So when it's hard to see, people narrow eyes to focus. So it's squint, a verb which means narrow the eyes. Okay, so have you answered correctly? Next one. The way the journalist watched the question made the politician visibly uncomfortable. So it's a noun-verb adjective. The way the journalist do something, right? Do the question made the politician. And also think about the grammar. Made, so it's a past tense, right? So okay, so you have 3 seconds to think about the answer. Okay, the answer is phrased. Okay, let's check. Why? How words were chosen, specific wording used, phrased. It's about what kind of words people use. Phrased. Okay, next one. After the argument, they sat in what? Silence, neither knowing what to say next. Okay, so they sat in what? Silence. So it's adjective. Describe the silence, right? So you have 3 seconds. Think about the answer. Okay, I think the answer is awkward. Okay, why? After argument, nobody's speaking. So it's an uncomfortable situation. So it's awkward. It's adjective before noun, before the silence. Okay, next one. The thick fog made the old lighthouse look almost what? as its beam swept silently across the dark water. So the fog affected the lighthouse, right? So look something means it's adjective. So based on the first three letters, can you think about the answer? Now you have 3 seconds. Okay, the answer is mysterious. Okay. Why? Fog, silent beam, dark water. So all these things make it strange and unknown. So based on these 3 letters, the answer is mysterious. Okay, next one. The flying saucer turned out to be what? A weather balloon that had drifted off course. So it's about the flying saucer turned out to be what? A weather balloon. Turned out means it's finally be something, right? So think about the answer for 3 seconds. Okay, I think the answer is merely. Okay, let's check. So it's mysterious at first, right? The flying saucer. Then explained simply, nothing more than something. Turned out to be, right? So it's only merely. It's merely. It's an adverb. Okay, have you answered correctly? Okay, last one. They had to what the rescue mission when the storm became too dangerous to continue. They had to do something, right? Because the storm is too dangerous. So it's not about every word, just about the situation. So can you think about the answer? It's a verb or noun or adjective. You have 3 seconds. Okay, the answer is abandon. Check. Okay, it's too dangerous to continue, so leave without finishing. So it's abandon. Okay, so we just finished the 10 questions at least level. So how many have you answered these questions correctly? If you can answer more than 8 questions correctly, it means your foundation for the DET is at the 120 level. Okay, but in the real test, we cannot pause the timer. You need to do it under pressure, under time pressure, just within 20 seconds. So that's why it's challenging. But today, from this practice and strategy, we know the context matters, right? Maybe we don't need to read each word very carefully, but we need to grab the context, the situation very quickly, and to find the answer based on the grammar form, the situation, and the first a few letters. Okay, we just finished the 20 questions. You can also practice and learn more on my website in the Fill in the Blanks trainer. And if you find my video helpful, please don't forget to give thumbs up and subscribe my channel for more tips to help you prepare for the Duolingo English test. See you in the next one.